Learning how to stay calm when your mind is at war. The anxiety is playing with you. All the other factors in your head are just playing with you. They're screwing with you. How do you cope with these situations? How can you calm yourself down? How can you control this situation in an intense environment or in an environment which is very calm, but you are as if you are at war? I've been through many traumatic events and I haven't coped with them well. I have post-traumatic stress disorder, but I've been given over the past 15 plus years this intrinsic skill to be able to inspire other people, to pass my other experiences and my other thoughts, my other processes onto other people. I didn't really realize I had this skill until other people listened to me. Other people felt better when after they spoke to me. Other people got inspired. They decided to not drink for that one day, or they decided to do other things. And I feel that maybe you have come to this video to learn how to calm down when you feel like you are at war. So without any further ado, let's just talk about this. I'm not going to talk about my traumatic events because we can't compare traumatic events. How we cope with these situations is purely individual. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to think about my traumatic events, and I want you to think about your traumatic events, and we're just going to try and relate to each other as much as possible. And so when I'm in a situation where it's high pressure, high problems, there's a lot of chance of hurting yourself or others being hurt or others saying the wrong things. There's a whole variation of things here, but how can you stay calm inside your head? Now, I have the problem that I can stay calm inside of my head because I was trained to stay calm inside my head. But my outer shell, my body, does the exact opposite. So for me, I now learn how I can keep my outer body calm, and that reflects my mind. So it's all about using logic, reason, rationale, to be rational about stuff. And this is very difficult at times to be logical, to think rational, but I find taking a step back from the situation in my head. Remember, you can't actually take a step back at that one time. You have to take a deep breath inside, review the situation, and realize that you have to think about all of the things that's going on around you, and whether there is actually any danger, and is this fear controlling you, or is this danger controlling the anxiety, the red mist that's inside of you? And there are loads of times where I get put in this situation, and I have like this thing inside me that's got to help other people, and that can sometimes put me in dangerous situations which I just don't need to be there, but I feel that I have to help. And so it's all about staying calm in those situations, because if you get wrapped up inside of your emotions, get wrapped up inside of your anxiety, it causes you huge problems and could cause other people bigger problems that can get you into actual legal trouble at a later stage, and especially if there's alcohol or any other things involved that's changing your mindset. So I'm no master at this, but what I can say is that through my military training, I've been able to be in situations where I have stayed calm, because I know that panicking at one time doesn't make any sense. It doesn't do you any good whatsoever. So I can tell you right now is that it's a cliche to say don't panic, but in order to not panic, you have to do the opposites. Okay, so it's all really good for me to say don't panic. So how can you do the opposite? Now think of a situation, a place that you were in, and try and picture the reaction that you had at that one time. It may have been so traumatic that you just suddenly flicked into shock, and shock, you just don't know what you're doing anyway. So we can't really use that as an example, because you've in shock right now. But if you're in a situation where you know you didn't go into shock, but you were panicking, and it's like seeing a building on fire in front of you. Now, if you don't actually feel the flames burning you or the smoke going inside of you, then you know that you see a fire, you can smell the smoke, you can feel the heat, you can feel the warmth, but it isn't hurting you, right? This is logic, and you know that you are at a correct distance at that one time, that the fire cannot hurt you at that present time of life. See, this is the logic right now, is I know the distance between me and the fire allows me to stand there and reassess what I've got to do next, okay? Because your safety is always what's key here. And so I think the first thing to do is how can you get into a safe environment in this situation where you can then continue to think about stuff. Now, if you're in a meeting and there's a big argument and you're part of this argument, then try and put yourself in a position where you can feel safe, first of all, and you can take time to reflect upon what everyone is saying. Now, if you hadn't listened totally because there was all screaming and you were losing focus, then take a second out to maybe ask someone, I'm a bit unsure about what you just said. Can you please repeat it? To use logic, to re-listen to the thing that was once said again. And that person will respect you for listening to it. So this is a way, but once you are in a position, to calm down and listen to this is logic and reason kicking in inside of your head, thinking, in order for me to understand the other person, I have to listen to them first. I have to think of their perspective on the issue. And because you're listening, you're automatically calming down. Now, if you're not going to listen to the other person, or you're not going to respect the other people, then you're not calm, And so your best situation there is to turn around and walk away, because that environment, those people, they are already giving you problems. There's danger there that you could do something wrong that could inflict pain on yourself through legal problems or physical problems or injury and stuff. So in your head, you need to say, do I need to actually be there? Can I turn around and walk away? People might say insults, derogatory things about you, but you're walking away from the situation enough time to reassess where you are in a safe place. So the war isn't actually a war. It's a position of discomfort, and no one likes discomfort. Everyone wants to avoid it as much as possible. So understanding that there isn't a line between comfort and discomfort, right? It's a gradient between the two. It blends between comfort and discomfort. And as you pass over that line, you feel discomfort. But this is how reason and logic and taking a step back in reflection and taking a look at the new perspective of where you are. So, and you're not always correct. There's probably someone might have said something to you or done something that you didn't like, and your automatic reaction was, no, I'm right, or this is what I'm doing, is what I want to do. You need to think about how that makes you feel, right? And feeling wrong or feeling judged or feeling something is increasing the anxiety, the pain, or the hatred, or the disgust inside of you, which is putting you closer to a war zone, right? And these are the things is, well, take on the criticism right now. If you can't turn around and walk away, and if turn around and walk away helps you, right, and doesn't give you any disadvantage, then turn around and walk away is the best thing. But if turn around and walk away gives you a disadvantage and is going to hurt you more, then you've got to stay in that situation, and you need to face this one problem, and you need courage to do this, all right? You need integrity to know, I have to stay here, I have to stay calm, I can't put myself in any more problems. But you have to listen, This is the key thing, is take the time out while someone's speaking to use, sorry, I'll start again, is when the person is shouting at you or something, if you can say to them, please, can you just repeat that? I didn't understand. This is your time now to listen and calm down and understand what the person's saying. And when the other person feels that you're listening to them, they may respect you more because they see, wait a minute, they're not shouting anymore because they don't need to shout because you are listening. And because you are listening, you are using logic. And this it may find that you have some conflicts in what the people have to say to you. But because you have this inner strength to calm down and to listen and to work out what the people are saying, which parts of this stuff they're saying to you, this in turn is going to bring the anxiety down too, right? And I can only use my past experiences in this, where other times I've screamed and shouted, and I've done the opposite. I've tried to remove those people from the situation, right? I've tried to use my fear, I've tried to use my strength, my loudness, my dominance, that I can make those people leave my area, rather than in other situations me turn around and leave that area. So if these two are, or you making them leave or you leaving yourself, are not possible, then in your brain you've got to control the anxiety, you've got to control the fear, you've got to control this. And I can't tell you how to do this. I can only tell you what parts of our brain we have to reason about this. So I always use courage, integrity, discipline, loyalty, self-respect, selflessness, and so on. These are the core values that I go have my life on. And I don't fulfill these all the time, and I do make mistakes because I'm not perfect. But this is when I'm speaking, sometimes I have self-criticism and think, wait a minute, I maybe said something wrong then. I need to maybe re-explain it, or maybe apologise for saying something incorrect, or maybe I didn't listen to them. So it's very difficult to take criticism. We don't like criticism. It moves us out of our comfort zone, and we don't like being wrong. And sometimes in normal life, with politics or with religion or with relationships or with stuff, this could be the thing that's giving you anxiety. This could be the thing that's giving you the pain in your life, and you don't know how to cope with it. So all I can say is that I've spent a lot of time looking at how philosophers wrote stuff, and I'm no expert in this, but I use my military training to know in these hard situations how I can cope with it. I repeated myself a lot here, but I can't tell you in this situation, because your traumas, this is the core of it, right? There's a reason why you have anxiety. There's a reason why you've got into this situation, because it probably stemmed from a trauma that you have that made you very sensitive to a situation, that then made you angry, gave you anxiety, made you see red mist, made you say or feel other emotional things. And this is the war zone that you need to stay calm in, all right? It's a theoretical, it's just a hypothetical situation that we're talking about here. But your skill is to realize when you've transitioned yourself into a war zone, and it's not a war zone. The people around you are not in a war zone, right? There's no screaming, shouting, shooting, or bombs or anything like that. It's just a normal conversation. So how to stay calm? Well, is this trauma that you have, this is the thing that you need to control first. And this was my enemy. This was my demon. This is the thing, because this trauma controlled me outright, which meant I could transition quickly into this, because I believed that this was the person that I was. This trauma was me. But that's not true. The trauma is controlling you. That doesn't make it you. It's your mental state needs to appreciate and respect your trauma. You see, don't fight your trauma. You need to respect it, because it's a part of you, and it's a part of your life. my trauma makes me strong. My trauma makes me brave. My trauma gives me courage. My trauma makes me be able to talk to you right now. And my calmness comes from that I respect my trauma. Can you see this? And all the years that I pushed this trauma away, I pushed it and I let it control me. Sometimes I let it help me to become this super strong, tough person to get me out of these situations. And they gave me more problems than they did give me good. So I now respect my trauma and I say, okay, I'm not letting you control me. You are allowed to be there, and when I need you, I'm going to let you. And I'm proud of the events of why I've got this trauma. Okay, these are part of my life, and they've made me the person I am today. And so this is probably the most important thing. If you've managed to get through 17 minutes of me waffling, or however long it is I've been talking, this is the core part of the message I'm trying to give you, is sit down and learn your trauma. Learn who the person is, learn who the event is, and respect it. Because once you can respect it, it means it cannot bring you to this anxiety state, right? Because you're one with it, right? And at times you can just put it away and you can say, I don't need you right now. It's okay. And it comes out and it says, can I help you? And you're like, no. I'm good. I can cope with this myself. I've got direct access to my past experiences, right? And I've got logic and reason. I can cope with this. I can stay calm. I don't panic. And this is how the trauma makes you go to this war zone area, right? So is it that you're in a war zone is the problem? Or is it that the traumatic events of your past put you in that war zone where there wasn't actually a war zone? So how to stay calm in all situations and how to avoid the war zone is the key thing here, and how to respect your trauma. This is my message I'm trying to give you, is scroll back and think, okay, it's not the war zones that are the problem, right? That you keep getting into war zones, you keep getting into conflicts. That's not you, right? That's your trauma is controlling you to make you always escalate a situation to a war zone. So don't blame yourself for it, that you haven't yet respected your trauma. And once you do respect your trauma, you can go forward with it and you can live your normal life that you live. And I'm sure the people around you, they really like you, and maybe they don't understand that you have a trauma. And maybe when you get angry, they might think, wait a minute, maybe this is the trauma that's speaking and not the person speaking. But if they don't know about your trauma, how can they know this? So be open, be honest, own your trauma. Pass it on to other people. Tell them how this made you feel. Right? Don't look for sympathy. Right? Sympathy is a terrible thing to look for. Don't have self-pity either. Right? Respect it and own it and say, this made me strong and I can control it. And I can talk calm all the time. Today's a very traumatic day to me. Okay? And that's not the reason why I'm making this video. It just happened to coincide with one another that I'm making these videos. Probably subconsciously I've waited to today to make these videos, but it's not the point. But I'm speaking out of my heart. I'm speaking to you, and I hope this video has inspired you or helped you in some small way. And if there's only a couple of people that watch this, I hope that I've helped you. I hope that I've done something for you. And if you don't want to give it a like because you want to stay kind of like anonymous or something like that, then thank you very much for watching all the way to this stage. Okay, thank you very much. But it would do me a great favour just to give me a like, just to show me the feedback. That's it. So I may make more videos in the future about these topics. We will see. It isn't going to be based upon how many people view this video. But if you think this video might help maybe someone else, but you don't know who that person is, then liking the video helps the algorithm to show it, to suggest it to other people. Otherwise, share this link to maybe a group of people that are suffering too, and maybe they'll listen to it as well, because I can always learn from other people, and that would help me back, etc., etc. Okay, but I've been given experiences that 99% of people in this world will never encounter, and I've managed to step over this, which is why I know I can stay calm in a war zone. So thank you very much for watching. Ciao, ciao. Goodbye.